All right, friends, it's T-Man. We are back with a I Am Longevity video, broski, by popular demand. So we're going to react to the longevity slave himself, Tony from I Am Longevity. So Tony from I Am Longevity says, three events that end you. The real biology of aging. Oh, really? Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. September 30, 2025. Today I'm going to show you something that destroys your body from the inside out. Something that picks your body apart piece by piece.
All right, the movie's over already. I'll tell you what it is. Eating the slave food diet. It's very simple. See that? You are not eating your natural diet. Carnivore, natural, raw animal, natural animals out in wild, eating them naturally in their natural state. There you go. The end video. The end.
Happens to every single person on the planet, no matter how healthy you are, how strong, or how disciplined. No one has ever stopped it. No one has ever delayed it. Not in the history of the world.
Yes, they have. That's a lie. That's a lie, because when the colonists came here and they bumped into these native people, they couldn't figure out their age. They couldn't figure out their age because they were never deteriorating. They weren't deteriorating, so they stayed the same age. So once you stop growing, you stay the same age the whole time. Well, that look, you are aging in what you call real time. I don't know, aging. It's a number. You call it birthdays. That really, people didn't really track that. See, in the past, they didn't really track that much of that stuff. It's just a known fact that, that's the test. I mean, look, the people, they couldn't do the test on themselves or anybody else. So the test they did, they don't have to do a test. When they came here, they bumped into the natives. The natives ate natural wild animals, and these natives had long hair. They looked good. They were all masculine. They looked fucking young and shit. They didn't look deteriorated like Europeans, and so the Europeans were jealous and wanted to take that life away from them. Get it? They removed it. They took it away from them. Yeah. So there you go. So, like I said, when Ponce de Leon, he came much later. That Spanish, or it was a French guy or Spanish guy, Ponce de Leon, whatever, from Spain. He was looking for the fountain of youth. What an idiot, man! The fountain of youth. Had he bumped into the natives in America, Canada, he would have found it. It was eating raw animal products off the land. That's what. But anyways, I digress, man. And not stressing the shit shit out of yourself working, because work doesn't exist. Jobs don't exist in nature. There's no such thing as job. Job is just something you're doing. It's an act, and they weren't laboring or jobbing or fucking working or anything, because obviously the slaves didn't want to work. They wanted to escape. Why? Because they didn't want to work. Because when they took them from Africa, they pulled them out of nature in Africa at that time. And they weren't working because jobs didn't exist in Africa. So what were they doing? Nothing. They lived off the land. Work didn't exist. There were no jobs there. So when they were forced to work, right, as slaves, they didn't want to work, because to them, that's not natural. Get it? They all wanted to be what? Free. All slaves want to be free. Why? Because at that time, jobs didn't exist. Work didn't exist. They were forced to what? Forced to work.
Three things, three catastrophic events. They creep in around the same time, and together they explain why we all fall apart as we age. Why?
Oh, they do they? Why do we all fall apart while we age, but not everybody's falling apart as we age? Get it? We're not all deteriorating. Some of us have stopped because we learned the truth. We're back on our natural raw animal diet. Get it? So we're not deteriorating faster than we're regenerating. We're regenerating now faster than we're deteriorating, because we're what? We're all in positive nitrogen balance, unlike you omnivore people out there. Get it? Anti-nutrient, negative nitrogen balance, and so you're deteriorating faster than you're regenerating.
Even the best, the fittest, the healthiest people in the world fall victim to them. I'm going to walk you through these catastrophic events step by step. I won't tell you what they are yet, but by the end of this video, you'll see exactly how they line up perfectly and why this is one battle you must fight if you want to stay powerful, functional, and truly youthful. So let's start with the first event. Back in 2019, scientists ran one of the most important aging studies ever done, and almost no one is talking about this.
I've already done videos on this, man. I told you before what's lifespan. Being in positive nitrogen balance. It wears off every disease. You're always regenerating faster than you're deteriorating. Being more nitrogen is coming in than going out. That's all. It's really simple, man. Get it, dude? It's all about what you're consuming. So whatever he's talking about is bullshit. See this paper again?
Imagine almost 3,000 proteins in the
Age-related disease biology measure plasma proteins. Okay, young adults. Okay, whatever, man. Hold on a second.
And here's the most interesting part. Using these proteins, the scientists could predict your age almost perfectly.
Almost perfectly, could they now, eh? Okay. All right. Well, guess what? In the past, we can predict people's ages just by looking at them, they say. But guess what? If they're eating their natural diet, you cannot predict their age. Want to know why? Because they stopped growing, they stopped aging. It's really simple because they're on their natural diet. They're not deteriorating faster than they're regenerating.
Even if they didn't know you or anything about you, they could guess if you're 40, 37, 49, 80.
They could guess. I could guess too just by looking at people now. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you right now. If you get a person that is regenerating faster than they're deteriorating, eating their natural, raw animal diet, you're not going to know what fucking age they are, dude. But your age, actually, I think you're older than you are. You say you're 60. Fuck, I'm wrong because I think you're 95. Because obviously you deteriorated faster than you can regenerate there, Tony.
Etc. With accuracy that blew away your so-called biological age test out the water. But what makes the study so groundbreaking isn't just the accuracy and what they found. Every single human ages in 3 waves, or what they call crests. These crests happen about the age of 34,
okay,
60, and 78. At each of these ages, your body goes through a massive shift, like a hidden wave crashing over your system.
A massive shift. It does it? Okay. I don't notice these problems because I'm eating raw animal products right now. I'm actually getting better, younger, stronger, everything. A woman told me today, she was like around my age, and she goes, "How old are you?" And I told her my age, and she's, "What? I thought you were like 30." There you go. That says a lot, man. She's telling me she thought I was 30. What the beep?
Pushing you further down the road of aging. Let me clear something up. There's another study from 2024 that claims people age faster at 2 points, at 45 and 60. Don't get confused. That study looked at...
If you're on the slave food diet, then definitely these markers, they apply to you if you're on the slave food, peasant, omnivore, whatever diet, yada, 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 okay? Cooking, omnivore, whatever diet.
Small sample size, and it only scratched the surface. The 2019 study I'm talking about is still the gold standard, but nobody knows about it. It puts the 2024 study to shame. So let me break this down. I'm going to show you what happens in each of these 3 critical crests, phases, and why they matter for your health and longevity. On the screen right
now. Okay. Look, I'll prove it to you people. What I say is fact, okay? So this is from AI. They take it out from plus 11 sites, okay? You are correct. Achieving positive nitrogen balance is necessary to maintain a static state of what? The body, or to promote growth and repair, as it means your body is synthesizing more protein, incorporating more nitrogen than it is breaking down or losing. To reach this state, you need sufficient dietary protein, adequate rest, and potentially other factors like exercise, depending on your overall goals. You understand me? The overall goals. Now, the exercise that I choose is eccentric exercise, periodic eccentric bouts of exercise, unaccustomed exercise. That's all. It's really simple, just to activate the progenitor, expand the satellite cell pool, and expand these telomeres, whatever, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea? So I can get more cells. They'll just divide, increase in size, and yada, yada, more cells. Here's the breakdown of what this means. Nitrogen intake versus loss. Nitrogen balance is measured of the difference between the nitrogen you take in through food and the nitrogen your body excretes. Positive nitrogen balance, anabolic state, when your nitrogen intake is greater than your losses, your body is in a positive nitrogen balance, meaning you have a surplus of protein to build and repair what? Tissues. You have a surplus to build and repair tissues. So you never need to worry about, well, I'm getting old and I don't think my body's going to repair. It's not going to fix or anything. Get it? Because this is the solution. This is essential for muscle growth, tissue repair, pregnancy, and what? Growth in children. So this is important for growth in children. Repair even pregnancy and growth in children. They need to be in positive nitrogen balance as well. Otherwise, they will not properly grow. They will be underdeveloped, your children. Think about your children, what you're doing to them. Feed them cereal. Don't feed them cereal. Feed them meat. Meat. Negative nitrogen balance, catabolic state. Negative nitrogen balance occurs when you lose more nitrogen than is consumed, indicating a net breakdown. And that's what all of you are in. And therefore, you're deteriorating faster than you are repairing. Get it? Then you're regenerating. Nitrogen equilibrium. Well, this is good too. Equilibrium. A state of equilibrium. Your intake of nitrogen equals your losses. Resulting in stable muscle mass, but no net growth or loss. There's no net growth or loss. How to achieve a positive nitrogen balance. Adequate protein intake. Consume enough high protein, as protein is the sole source of nitrogen for the body. Sufficient rest. We need lots of resting. No, we don't want to overexert ourselves. Lots of resting, bro. Get adequate sleep and rest, as this supports the body's ability to repair the body tissue. Yeah. Now, consider exercise, regular exercise, whatever, It tells you about protein turnover, whatever, more nitrogen balance. So, protein turnover contribute to more positive nitrogen balance. Okay, particularly whatever, stimulate more growth. Okay, whatever. Holistic diet. Ensure your diet is balanced with enough carbohydrates and fats. Well, we don't need carbohydrates. We just need fats, animal fats, to support overall metabolic health and provide energy for protein synthesis. Okay? You don't need carbohydrates. So, when you're in positive nitrogen balance, it's associated with positive outcomes like health. So being in positive nitrogen balance is associated with positive outcomes, man, like health and all kinds of stuff. Wears off diseases, you name it, man. All right, you'll be disease free.
Right here, you will see three major waves found in the study. Okay, the first wave happens around the age of 34. This is the first warning. The proteins that act like the glue, the framework of your body, the stuff that keeps your tissues firm, joints strong, and skin tight, start to weaken. This is called the extracellular matrix. Now let's go to the second phase, which happens around
the extracellular matrix. At the age of 60 years, we found a prominent role of hormonal activity. Okay, binding functions, blood pathways. I got 8, 7, 8 keys. Yeah, okay.
60, and it's a much bigger one. The proteins in your blood show clear shifts in your hormones, your metabolism, and your circulation.
Well, when you're in positive nitrogen balance, your hormones are anabolic. The HGH, IGF-1, testosterone is high. It's high. That's a good thing, yes. You can call these agrophagy. Agrophagy is, if you're doing some exercise, agrophagy is also activated. So you're getting rid of these aggregates. You know what I mean? So yeah, it puts you in something called protostasis.
Translation, your internal wiring, the signals that tell your body how to burn energy, balance sugar, move nutrients, and regulate blood, all stop.
Yeah, your body's going to do that on a natural raw animal diet, like eating your raw animal food the way it was meant to be eaten, and not you being conditioned to eat slave food diets, get it? Based on addiction. Your foods are based on addiction. They're not based on health. See, animal products are based on health. They're not based on addiction. You'll never be addicted to eating it. It's impossible. See what I mean? But you'll be addicted to eating these plant foods and stuff, and sweet stuff and plant foods and everything, because they're based on addiction. That's why you consume more of them. And the fact that even if you are eating meat, you're cooking your meat, so you're destroying it. You're eating the broken DNA. You're ingesting it. It's becoming part of you.
But the drift. This is why diseases like diabetes, heart issues, and other chronic conditions start showing up more often after 60. It's not random. It's not your genes. It's because your body's communication system is changing. Now, here's the third wave the study found. It happens around the age of 78. This is the final wave, or crest, the last biological phase your body goes through.
Sure.
After this, there are no more resets, no more hidden gears to kick in. The proteins in your blood show complete system deterioration. Your circulation is...
Yeah, I wonder why. Why is that? Why is that happening? Did they really explain it to you? What were these people eating? What were they doing? Is this test based on people eating raw animal products, Tony? Like they're eating raw, like natural raw animals out in the wild, natural raw animal products, right? That's what this test is on, right? I really doubt it. The test is on the slave food peasant diet, okay? These peasants. They tested these peasants and slaves.
struggling. Your tissue repair signals are breaking down, and your bones and immune system...
Yeah, listen to what he says. Your tissues and everything are breaking down. But if you're in positive nitrogen balance, eating raw animal products, well, guess what? You're not breaking down. You're regenerating faster than you're deteriorating. Remember? I already proved it. This guy's wrong. Everything he says is wrong.
The edge.
Yeah.
The study makes it clear the 78-year-old mark is the last major phase of life. After that,
were they in positive nitrogen balance? Did they test them? Were they in positive or were they always negative? See what I mean? The outcomes he's talking about is associated with negative nitrogen balance. But positive nitrogen balance is associated with positive outcomes, not negative. All the stuff he's telling you is negative is people that are in negative nitrogen balance. So they're going to have all these negative outcomes. Yeah, it's kind of obvious.
You're in the final stretch. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are...
Guys, you're all in the final stretch. Yeah, keep eating that ice cream. Okay. That sludge there, Tony.
3 things that happen. Now I'm going to speak about the second thing, which you heard many times we speak about.
Is he under different light or he using a filter? Well, there you go. Says a lot.
It's called the loss of motor units.
Oh.
Before I continue, let me clarify something.
I love this one. It's called the loss of motor units. You are not losing any motor units. If protein synthesis exceeds protein breakdown, if you're in positive nitrogen balance, even equilibrium, you are not going to lose fucking these motor units. Get it, man? You're not going to lose them. They're not going to go away. And you're not going to have dysfunctional mitochondria either because you're eating high animal fat.
Just because I'm calling it the second event here does not mean it happens after the proteome changes. The loss of motor units actually starts before the first proteome wave that scientists found at the age of 34.
He says they found at the age of 34. The age of 34 what? They weren't eating anything? They just found it at the age of 34. What's it based on? See, these tests are shit. You want to know why? Because they didn't test. They don't tell you what these people were eating, what the outcome was, what they were eating, and a bunch of stuff. Were they in positive nitrogen balance? Were they eating raw animal products? Were they in negative nitrogen balance, or what was it? To me, when he's speaking, it sounds like all the outcomes are negative. So they were in negative nitrogen balance. It's kind of obvious.
Mid-20s to around 30 years old, you're already losing...
Aging skeletal muscle. What are the mechanisms of age-related loss of strength and muscle mass, and can we impede its development and progression? Yeah, we can. You want to know how? When more nitrogen is coming out that is being expelled. That's all. You being in positive nitrogen balance. Really simple. See that?
The fastest motor units, the explosive ones, the type 2X fibers.
The type 2X fibers, the explosive ones, but they're there. They never go away. You die with the fibers that you were born with. You die with the fibers you were born with. You die with the fat cells that you were born with. You don't get more fat cells, you don't get less. You die with those exact same fat cells. They get big, they get small. That's it. See what I mean? You die with the muscle fibers that you were born with. He's full of shit. And so is the motor units that proliferate within them. If you're in positive nitrogen balance.
This loss is universal. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete.
But in who? In negative nitrogen balance? Yeah, obviously.
A bodybuilder or someone with perfect biomarkers. Everyone starts losing them around this time.
No, you don't. You don't, man. Oh my God. Man, you're not gonna lose it, bro. Go fuck. I'm gonna fuck. So here's what they tell you in AI. Yes, positive nitrogen balance. where protein intake exceeds protein breakdown, is crucial for preserving muscle mass by providing the necessary amino acids for what? Muscle protein synthesis and repair. This state allows the body to stay out of a catabolic muscle wasting state, supporting growth, preventing muscle loss, and facilitating the maintenance of what? Motor units, which are the nerve and muscle fibers that work together. They work together, man. Get it? So yeah, motor unit, muscle preservation, yes, amino acids, motor unit maintenance, adequate protein, whole bunch of stuff. Lifestyle, bro. Yes, when a positive nitrogen balance, meaning you consume more protein than your body breaks down, your body can synthesize new muscle proteins, leading to preserved or increased muscle mass and density. A positive nitrogen balance ensures your body has enough amino acids, the building blocks of protein, to support muscle growth and prevent muscle tissue from being broken down. To meet other bodily needs, while important, a positive nitrogen balance is not the sole factor for muscle preservation and growth, as sufficient dietary protein, proper hydration, adequate sleep, and managing stress are also crucial. Well, yeah, those are also important. I mean, hydration, adequate sleep, and managing stress are crucial because those things can contribute to the deterioration of you. You get it? Yeah. So they tell you a bunch of stuff here. Positive nitrogen balance. Anyway, you get the point, man. So I don't know what Tony's talking about. Plus, it wears off diseases and stuff. It's associated with, you won't get like cardiovascular disease or diabetes or any of these fucking weird diseases when you're in positive nitrogen balance. Disease doesn't exist in nature. The natives didn't have any of that. Get it, broski? Anyway.
So remember this, the motor unit decline is already underway quietly.
No, it's only on the way when people are negative nitrogen balance, which the majority of the population is. They are in negative nitrogen balance. Even when they take these people from these tribes and they bring them to these cities and they start feeding them these artificial diets, they immediately start deteriorating rapidly. Their teeth, their bodies and everything, they just start deteriorating like crazy. It's insane. Me, I'm the opposite. I'm in positive nitrogen balance. I am regenerating faster than I am deteriorating. I don't allow myself to deteriorate. I'm also static. Not only am I static, but I am reversing. So I'm static and reversing because I'm not just equilibrium, okay? I'm not just in equilibrium. I'm in positive nitrogen balance. That's associated with growth, repair, and a bunch of stuff. Especially as an older person, you definitely better be in positive nitrogen balance if you're an older motherfucker. Otherwise, you are going to fucking disintegrate. Get it, bro? Like a mummy. And I mean rapidly, like this motherfucker.
Proteome even shows its first big wave at the age of 34. Now, check this out. I'm going to superimpose the two timelines, the proteome waves and the motor unit decline, on one chart. Watch how they line up. I'm going to walk.
Look what it shows you. Wave 2 hormones, blood pathways, Axion guide, FA. Oh, I know this one. F and Ephrin. Okay, repair signals. Look how it's all on a decline. But that is associated with negative nitrogen balance. You understand me? That's the framework for negative nitrogen balance. When you're in positive nitrogen balance, all of these, the graph, they go up. They go up, bro. Get it?
Step by step from birth to the end to this combined shade timeline so you can see exactly how it unfolds in real life. And after that, I'll reveal the third event, the one that locks the outcome in for everyone. So let me start with the white.
Yeah, what's that exactly?
Shaded area. You see it on the screen right here. We all start life with 100% of our motor units. That means every single nerve to muscle connection we were given at birth is still intact. From birth all the way up to 20.
Yeah, you die with them intact. When you die with everything intact that you came with.
25, 30 years old, no matter who you are, you only get stronger, faster, and healthier. But right here, at this edge, the late 20s into 30s, the first cracks appear. The fastest, most explosive motor units, the Type 2X, begin to disappear. It doesn't matter how healthy you are.
No, they don't. They only disappear in people that are in negative nitrogen balance, which the majority of the population is in, because they want to call themselves acting omnivores. Get it? And not carnivores anymore.
Well, as I said, this is nature's timer starting to tick.
No, it's
Now
not.
let's transition into the yellow zone, exactly where
not.
the first cracks of the Type 2X motor units begin to get pruned.
He's lying to you. No, it's not. You can consistently expand the satellite cell pool to extend lifespan, but that doesn't mean it will prevent deterioration. Look, you can consistently come in, or periodically come in the gym and cause and damage your muscles to get the to activate the progenitor cell, the satellite cell. So you can expand the satellite cell pool, that domain, these domains. There's more than one domain. There's many domains there that are going on. So you can expand that domain, right? These so-called domains. The satellite cell pool, it'll expand for what? What does it say in science? For future regenerative demands. So if it expands, the telomere must expand. It must automatically expand and do what after? Extend lifespan. How do you why are you extending lifespan? Because you're creating new cells. You're actually getting rid of old cells and creating new cells. So your body cannot die right away. It can't just die because you have new cells. Get it? And then they have to go through a replication. You understand me? Before they can even completely turn into before they can become senescent. I don't know how many times they can replicate. I think it's 40 times. But it's not something you need to be worried about, because you're going to activate them so that they can split, divide, and increase in number and expand the satellite cell pool periodically. And so that's going to wear off what? This you dying early or whenever you're dying. But guess what? Here's another problem. That isn't based on food. That's based on damaging. Now, for the repair and the growth of those cells, you need to be in positive nitrogen balance. So they go together. And that will extend your lifespan, and it will keep you static from deteriorating faster than you can regenerate. Okay? You'll regenerate faster than you're deteriorating. It's kind of obvious. So what he's showing you here on this graph, it's the opposite. He's trying to convince you that, oh, they did this test. It was an age, omnivores. They ate the peasant slave food diet, and look at the outcome already at 34. It's all going downhill. Yeah, but science will corroborate what I say if you're in positive nitrogen balance and periodically activating the satellite cell pool. That is associated with what? Longevity. Get it?
Prune means cut off, destroy, whatever you want to call it. You might not feel it yet, but something is changing under the hood. And right after your explosive power slowly begun to disappear, scientists found...
No, my explosive power came back big time, especially now that I'm on a natural animal diet. My mitochondria are functioning perfectly, everything. I'm not eating any slave food, whatever peasant food diet. I'm eating raw animal products and eating more of them. I'm constantly eating more of them. And guess what? I'm getting better, getting faster, getting stronger, a bunch of stuff. I've never felt so good in my entire life. I never knew what it was like to feel good. I always felt off. I never felt very good because I ate the wrong food. But now that I'm eating the right food, finally, everything just makes sense, bro. Get it? Yeah.
the first big proteome wave in our blood proteins. Deterioration of this extracellular matrix. What does that mean?
Yeah,
well,
what does it mean?
Think of your body like a house. The extracellular matrix is basically the concrete, the beams, the glue that holds all the bricks together.
Oh, it is it? The beams, the glue. Well, I thought it was the collagen that was holding you all together, but okay.
Not the muscle itself, but it's what keeps the muscle, the skin, the joints, everything in place and working smoothly. Now, around the age of 34, those support beams start to weaken.
Oh,
they don't vanish overnight, ladies and gentlemen, but tiny cracks appear in the foundation. So here's the connection.
But guess what? Not in positive nitrogen balance. They don't. He's making it up, man.
Just as your body is quietly losing those fast explosive motor units around the white, the end of the white, and into the yellow, your internal scaffolding, the stuff that keeps tissues firm and strong, starts breaking down. This is the first biological signals of aging. You don't see it yet, you don't feel it yet, but the slow leak has begun. Now let's move along into the violet zone, which is your 40s and 50s, from 40 to 60 years old. This stage is what I call the incubation period. Here's what that means. The motor unit loss that began back in the white zone is now spreading quietly under the surface. You don't see it full blown yet, but this is when the cracks widen, they get bigger. You start feeling the first signs like recovery takes longer, you get those aches and pains, a little stiffness in the morning.
Yeah, you get those aches and pains from what? The oxalate buildup from eating the omnivore slave food peasant diet. Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Oh, brother, man. This is funny.
Then on the medical side, this is when silent diseases start incubating. High blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance. They may not show obvious symptoms yet, but the process of running in the background. And let me really drill this in. When you start losing those fast twitch motor units in this stage, it's not just about losing speed. These motor units drive your entire system. They regulate metabolism. They keep your blood vessels young. They trigger hormones and brain chemicals. They keep you sharp. When you lose them,
When you lose them, but I'm not losing them. Get it?
your body slows down. And your body notices this. Your epigenetics actually respond to this slowdown. People always say, your genes respond to your lifestyle. You're right. Well, when you move slower, because your fast motor units are disappearing, your body literally starts flipping genetic switches that accelerates aging. It thinks, well, we're slowing down. It's time to age. So from the outside, people might say, oh, it's not a big deal. You're just getting older. This is normal. But what's really happening is that
No, you're deteriorating. That's what's happening. You think it's normal deteriorating, like Tony. Look how deteriorated he is. 60 looking 95. Get it, bro? The new 95.
your motor unit network is eroding underneath you. That's the hidden cause of this.
The motor unit, well, how's that working for Tony? Because he looks completely deteriorated. He looks like 95 years old. Is the motor unit going to change that? These so-called motor units, if you activate them, are they going to reverse aging, this deterioration, and all this kind of weird shit that you've been doing to yourself? Man, shut up, okay?
Incubation period, and it sets you up for what comes up next. Okay, now let's get into the pink zone, where you can see it's from 60 to 80 years old. This is a very, very crucial area in the age of.
Here's another thing. When you activate the satellite cell, because there's the relative amount of micro damage, that macrophage comes out and cleans up the dead tissue. So in that period, it's scavenging you throughout your whole body. It's going to remove senescent cells. What are senescent cells? They stop dividing. They're zombie cells. So when you clear them out and replace them with new cells, so periodically activating the satellite cell is a better thing than what people are doing, exercising in the gym, just aging themselves and exercising to inflame their muscles and walk around with inflammation all day. I'm hypertrophying my muscles every day. I did bench press. I did this is hypertrophying them. This is hypertrophying. That's hypertrophying. This regime 6 days a week is hypertrophying. Yeah, it's always hypertrophying. Get it? You're hypering and you're activating, hypering and active and atrophying, hypering and atrophying all day, every day, all day, hypering and atrophying nonstop. Transient fucking inflammation. That's all you're fucking doing, bro. So why not just fucking damage, repair, and remodel, so that you can wear off these senescent cells and myogenic decline. Okay, that's all. That's what that side will do, the exercise side. Now, the repair and the remodeling side, the side that is going to help you to prevent the deterioration and you being able to regenerate faster than you deteriorate, positive nitrogen balance. You just need to consume a lot of animal products.
Process. Around the age of 60, scientists discovered the second major protein wave in our blood.
Yeah.
What exactly changed here? Hormones, metabolism, and blood circulation. Those are the signals that regulate sugar, energy use, and blood flow start going off track. That's why high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease become so common after the age of 60.
Yeah, after the age of 60, but not in people that are in positive nitrogen balance. Those things do not exist. Disease does not exist when you're in positive nitrogen balance. You never get sick if you are in positive nitrogen balance. You never get fucking sick. So he's full of shit. These outcomes are people that are negative nitrogen balance. Get it, dude?
It's not just bad luck. The system itself is changing.
Yeah, whatever.
And at the exact same time, motor unit loss begins to accelerate sharply.
What do you mean bad luck? You were the cause of it. Stop eating at fucking Burger Castle or whatever fucking. Or I don't know. What's those? I forget the name right now. Whatever. McDonald's, okay?
Before 60, the decline was slower, but now the drop is steep. By the age of 70, the average person has already lost about 40% of their motor units. That means 40% of your...
That is a lie. If they lost any kind of motor units, it's because of the slave food diet and their negative nitrogen balance. That's why. That's why they lost anything. That could be the only reason. It is impossible to lose anything when you're in positive nitrogen balance. When you're building more than you're breaking down, faster than it's breaking down. If you're able to build a wall faster than the wall can break down, even though you keep building it, but it keeps breaking down underneath, then you will always wear that shit off. It never exists. Okay, dude?
ability to move with power, speed, and coordination is poof, gone. And by 75,
He's full of shit. I have so much power and speed, and I don't do exercise like him jumping around the field, but I can because I tested it. The people say, here, holy shit, you move so fast now. When you were eating those plants and everything, you were fucked. You couldn't move. He goes, now, when we watch you, you're so fast at everything, jumping, moving fast, running, this, that, because it's your body, it works naturally. It works with nature synergistically, naturally. It has nothing to do with lifting weights. So what he's doing, you could say what he's doing, running around in the field and everything, is considered natural movements. These are natural human movements. But you can move like that too if you're in positive nitrogen balance. Get it? And your mitochondria aren't dysfunctional. They're functional. Your motor units are functional. There's no loss and a bunch of stuff. You will do the same thing like Tony. And you don't even need to be on TRT like him cheating. Get it?
motor unit loss increases even more to 50%. Now let's stop right here for a second because this is one of the most important parts in this entire video.
Okay.
Around the age of 75, everyone appears to hit what's called the falling off a cliff phenomenon.
Oh,
Let
really?
me explain, because people may hear this and
Yes,
think
please
that
explain.
it means that you suddenly drop dead at 75. That's not what it means. Falling off the cliff is when your health and function suddenly, boom, collapse. You go from a steady decline to a sharp, sudden loss of capacity.
The message is very clear. This is a figure that shows on the left, it shows women, and on the right, it shows men. The bottom two figures show physical activity level over time, so age is always shown on the x-axis. And the upper figure shows fat-free mass in kilograms on the y-axis versus, again, age on the x-axis. So fat-free mass, of course, is a very good proxy for lean mass or muscle mass. And you can see that these have data collected all the way from when people are teenagers up until the end of life. And again, you don't really have to be a statistician to see the remarkable trends here. You'll realize two things.
Does this test include people that were in positive nitrogen balance and they were eating raw animal diet in positive nitrogen balance? Did this test include it? No, it doesn't include it anywhere in there. Read it. They never included it. What they have here is just your average population on the slave food, peasant food diet. And this is the outcome on slave food, peasant diets. You understand me, people?
The first is that we have a steady increase in muscle mass and lean mass, both for men and women, that occurs from birth right up until about the age of 25.
Yeah, of course, because you're growing, you're developing, you're in the developmental stages. No kidding.
And then you have a relatively minor decline in lean mass from 25 to 75. But then
Yeah, why is that exactly? Why would that happen? Think about that. Ponder that thought for a moment. Why is that happening?
what happens at 75, Nick?
Yeah, it's off a cliff.
It literally falls off a cliff.
It literally falls off a cliff. Well, guess what? Not for me, man. Maybe for people out there that can't afford to eat raw animal products or who don't want to eat it because, oh, it's ooh and all that kind of stuff. Well, then suffer. Get it? Here's the thing. When you're stubborn in this world, stubbornness doesn't pay to. It doesn't pay to be stubborn. Want to know why? Because you're gonna pay for being stubborn. Believe me. You're gonna look in the mirror. You're gonna be the mummy, dude.
That from the age
If you're maintaining motor units through exercise, if you're exercising, trying to maintain these motor units, well, good luck with that. Because the exercise itself and what you're doing will put you in negative nitrogen balance. And when you look in the mirror, you are going to be the mummy. You're going to look back at you. A mummy is going to be looking back at you. And then you're going to say, you know what? That's just a natural process of aging, which it is not. It is not. It is not natural. Get it? You just make that up. It's a belief in your head. But in reality, science already corroborates what I say. It tells you that you are deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. And guess what? Mommy, yeah.
ages of 25 to 75, physical activity level is even more consistent and conserved than lean mass in both men and women.
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely nothing now because I'm putting it to the test. I have been doing nothing. I did literally nothing this year. I simply keep eating. I barely move around. I don't do any exercise. I barely move. And then I put it to the test to see if I can move. And I move really well. I got energy through the roof. I can speak fast. I move fast. I feel really fast. I feel really good. I feel like I'm 24 years old. I don't feel any different than being 20 years old right now, which is incredible. So I don't know what these people are talking about. See what I mean? So if you're static and you preserve your youth by being in positive nitrogen balance, all of these things, they're preserved. They don't go away. It's impossible. It's impossible for any of this to go away if you're in positive nitrogen balance because you are building faster than you are breaking down.
And yet, what happens at the age of 75 for both men and women?
Same thing.
Yeah, it just falls off a cliff.
The best athletes in the world.
It just falls off a cliff for who? People in negative nitrogen balance or positive? Who falls off the cliff? They don't really tell you, man. What the fuck? So here again, we're going to use AI. There's plus 13 sites, okay? People age 75 who fall or have severe trauma are more likely to be what? In negative nitrogen balance. That's what I learned. Where the body breaks down more protein than it consumes, leading to a loss of body protein. Factors contributing to this negative balance include malnutrition, illness, muscle loss, and reduced protein absorption in older adults. Well, we don't have reduced protein absorption. You only have reduced protein absorption when you keep eating the slave food peasant diet, which is interfering. Get it? So, a positive nitrogen balance conversely signifies protein synthesis and is associated with growth, recovery, and from stress, and increased muscle building. Not typically with falls or trauma. See, man, you get it when you're in positive nitrogen balance. So negative is very bad in older adults. Now, positive balance, growth recovery, a positive nitrogen balance seen during periods of growth, such as pregnancy or muscle building from intense exercise or during recovery from injury or surgery. In this state, the body retains more nitrogen to synthesize new proteins. In summary, a fall is a stressful event for an older adult. Yeah, they're going to fall off the hill. Can trigger a catabolic state, placing them in negative nitrogen balance. With positive nitrogen balance, it indicative of an anabolic state necessary for growth and repair, not for dealing with trauma. Yeah. So I don't know what the guy's talking about, man. Get it? His whole thing, it's They didn't really measure the difference between people in positive or negative nitrogen balance. They just show people that are negative, basically.
Experience this. Even Master Spring.
Look, lunar decrease in athletic performance during human lifespan. Your athletic performance goes down because you're in negative nitrogen balance, which a lot of people are, because they're not opting to keep a positive nitrogen balance. They're lazy. They don't want to, they don't seemingly think about it because they don't know. They don't know what nitrogen is. They don't know what this nitrogen balance is. They don't understand it. The concept is elusive for them. They don't even understand the activation of the satellite cell. They think that the muscle cells, when they lift weights, they split, divide, increase in number or something just because they lifted a weight. No, they don't. Otherwise, you'd keep growing forever in your job and then you would commit suicide and die. No, man, it's a lot more complicated and difficult than that. You have to activate the satellite cell. You're not going to activate the muscle cells to split divide. You activate satellite cells. They're fucking progenitor cells. Duh. Get it? So that is very specific. That only happens in exercise induced muscle damage training, not exercising, lifting weight, and I'm going to inflame my muscles. Get it, dude?
Sprinters who kept their speed into their 60s and early 70s. When they hit 75, their performance doesn't just slip, it falls off the cliff.
Look, I can guarantee you, if you put it to the test, eat raw animal products, be in positive nitrogen balance, and notice your athletic performance will go and shoot through the roof. It'll literally shoot through the roof big time. Get rid of these carbohydrates completely. Go completely off the carbs. Eat a high animal fat, raw animal diet, and bang, you're gonna see like fucking shit you've never seen before in your entire life. Okay, you're gonna be on fucking a different planet.
What does that look like in everyday life? 1 year you're walking fine, the next one you need a cane. 1 year you're living independently, and the next you need full-time care.
Yes, I've seen lots of people like that. There's a lot of people in my area. They're walking with their push carts, buggies, they've got canes, and it's predominantly, it's more and more now than ever before because negative nitrogen balance, that is the outcome.
1 year you were fine, and the next you got a heart attack, etc.
Yeah, why 1 year you were fine, but you got a heart attack the next year? Want to know why? Because negative nitrogen balance and slave food diet. Get it, bro?
That's the cliff. It's not death, but it's downhill slide where the end becomes inevitable.
We don't study any animal.
It's a lie, man. Everything is about what you eat, diet. Okay, at the end of the day, it's what you eat. Positive nitrogen balance, raw animal products, animal products. That's all. I told you, there's the carnivore community, then there's the Luxmaxing community. They eat raw animal products. That's why they're able to change. The carnivore community is based on eliminating this omnivore diet bullshit, whatever. Okay, dude?
Including primates, in a setting where sarcopenia and osteoporosis are problematic.
Yeah, but sarcopenia and osteoporosis doesn't exist in positive nitrogen balance. It doesn't exist. Positive nitrogen balance, oh man. So look, one of them are telling you that it's false, but that's not true because it says a positive nitrogen balance doesn't prevent these conditions, but rather indicates a state where protein synthesis exceeds breakdown, which is beneficial for growth. Yeah, that's the whole point. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Look, man, sarcopenia and osteoporosis, right? If you are in a state of positive nitrogen balance, then you cannot have osteoporosis or this fucking sarcopenia, because sarcopenia means the loss of muscle. But when you're in positive nitrogen balance, it's associated with growing muscles. Look, but rather indicates a state where protein synthesis exceeds breakdown, which is beneficial for growth and maintaining muscle. Yeah. In fact, a negative nitrogen balance characterized by protein breakdown exceeding synthesis is a risk factor for what? Sarcopenia. So how can they say that this assertion that osteoporosis, sarcopenia do not exist in a positive nitrogen balance? They don't. They don't exist in a positive nitrogen balance. They exist in negative nitrogen balance, like it says right here at the bottom. See what I mean? So sometimes you have to be skeptical when you type stuff up, when you get something from overview. You have to use your own brain. But but you might have to ask the computer 2 or 3 times because it just keeps pushing stuff out. But it does tell you here at the bottom the risk of sarcopenia, but osteoporosis can occur independently or in conjunction with sarcopenia. They could call it osteosarcopenia due to other factors like age, inflammation, and hormonal changes. Okay, what's causing the inflammation? What's causing the hormonal changes? And what's causing the age, the deterioration? Negative nitrogen balance. Get it, bro? And the slave food diet is causing that. Yeah. See what I mean? So you have to look more into it. You have to be specific when you're asking this computer you want it to do or say something. I don't know, whatever. Hold on. See, when you ask it the proper question, it'll tell you here, a positive nitrogen balance, protein balance, can help prevent sarcopenia by providing the necessary building blocks for muscle protein synthesis, which counters what? Muscle breakdown and loss. And it contributes to bone health, which helps prevent what? Prevent osteoporosis. Get it, man? So yeah, can we reverse these problems being in positive nitrogen balance once we get them because we were in negative nitrogen balance? Yes, you can reverse it, okay? Now, can you prevent these things from popping out because you're in positive nitrogen balance? Yeah, of course, because you're in positive nitrogen balance. So it's like protection. It's protecting you from these things happening. Do you get it? So while protein intake is a crucial component of positive nitrogen balance, must be achieved in conjunction with regular resistance exercise and sufficient calcium, vitamin D intake to effectively manage and prevent these age-related conditions. Yeah, but meat is not deficient in vitamin D or calcium or any of these things. It has all the nutrients, so it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be insufficient without it, so whatever. So you get the point, man. So it really is the prevention, and also it can reverse it. So I don't know what the computer is telling you in the other one, but who cares, man? Let's move on.
And yet I would ask anyone to consider the entire population that they know over the age of 75.
Yeah.
And I would ask you, take every person that is alive today that's over 75 and tell me how many of them are not suffering at least some consequence of one or both of those phenomenon. And if somebody did that analysis, I would be shocked if we didn't find at least 80% of people over the age of 75 are experiencing this. And if you look at the activity...
Yeah, because they're in negative nitrogen balance. That's why they're suffering from that. They're not preventing it. They're not preventing it by being in positive nitrogen balance. And yeah, basically.
Just monitor the activity level of people over the... once they hit 75, they fall off a cliff. So muscle mass dramatically plummets, activity levels dramatically plummet.
Okay, why does the muscle mass plummet and the activities plummet? If they were in positive nitrogen balance, what would make it plummet? See what I mean? Only a negative nitrogen balance is associated with plummeting muscle. And this activity, it's plummeting. Get it, man? Yeah. They're eating slave food peasant diet. They're not even eating proper animal products.
To say which one's feeding which.
Yeah.
But there's no question that something is happening to our species at about the age of 75.
Right.
That is a...
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's called the peasant slave food diet. Their addiction is, they're overcome by their addiction. Because I have a friend like that. He looks completely deteriorated. He's just bust. Because he can't stop eating that shit all day.
structural problem.
It all ties back to the exact spot on the graph the moment you lost 50% of your motor units. That's the cutoff.
Yeah, but you don't lose them if you're in positive nitrogen balance. You don't lose them eating animal products. Even if you're in equilibrium, that still wears it off.
When your shield is broken, that's the universal point of collapse. Look
Okay, why is your shield broken? What's breaking it?
at the screen right here. Look at the graph. And then just a couple of years later, look at the graph again, around the age of 78.
Okay.
The third and final proteomic wave crashes down. This one targets the most fragile parts of your system. For example, proteins that guide how your nerves and motor units connect to your muscles start breaking down. That's your axon guidance failing. The next one is the signaling that keeps your tissues repairing and your blood vessels healthy start to go off course. That's your EPH epinephrine signaling dropping. And
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, EPH, yeah, epinephrine. But guess what? I already put a thing in my community section. It tells you where's that off completely, being in positive nitrogen balance. Broski, get it?
last problem is the repair proteins that once kept your bones strong
Yeah, man.
and your immune system powerful. The B and P proteins begin to fail. So right here, these three things happen all at once. Look at the red line going down vertically.
Okay.
You lost half of your motor units, you fall off the cliff in health and function, and you can see the third
Yes, you fell off the cliff. Yes, you're falling down the hill.
and
Yeah.
final proteome wave confirms the system-wide collapse. You see the red line going across all three. This is not a coincidence. That's biology telling us the same.
That's not a coincidence. That's biology. No, it's not. That biology is based on negative nitrogen balance. Now, where's the test of the people that were in positive nitrogen balance? Where the fuck is it, man? Come on.
Story three different ways. And let me emphasize,
Is
this
there an NCBI report of people in positive nitrogen balance? What are the outcomes?
so far
Man, what is the outcome of being in positive nitrogen balance, man? Fuck, man. All right, so they have some ones here. When you pop them up, there's some stuff here from overview. Then you go here to the bottom, and it says right here, nitrogen balance requirements for critical 3 older people. If more nitrogen protein is given to a patient than lost, the patient is considered to be what? Anabolic, or in positive nitrogen balance. Yeah. Optimizing nitrogen balance is associated with better outcomes. The patient with positive nitrogen balance tended to have good outcomes at 3 months compared to those with negative protein balance. Why 3 months? Because everything is always seen in the 3rd month, man. That's all. Looks, effects of timing of protein and whatever. Okay. Forget carbohydrates. Nitrogen balance and outcomes in critical ill patients, systematic review, and PMC. In conclusion, the current study suggests that improved NB was associated with a better prognosis in clinically ill patients. Okay. Nitrogen balance studies in humans, long-term effect of high nitrogen intake. Yeah, I already know what it is. It's associated with youth. High nitrogen balance is associated with youth, bro. Get it? Look, a negative nitrogen balance indicates catabolic state. Positive indicates anabolic state. PubMed. Get it? Recommendation, broski. Get it? Look, PubMed's a lot shorter. See, nitrogen balance and recommended dietary allowance, whatever. Active male vegans. I don't even know why they're talking about vegans in here, but whatever. You get the point. So, I don't know what else is there. Here's another one. Effects of increasing nitrogen intake on balance of energy. It's associated with youth, man. It even tells you all the good outcomes here that it has. Athletes, children, you, me, this, that, whatever. Anabolic state. All right. Look, so here's a section here. Again, NCBI. Yes, positive nitrogen balance is associated with youth and the process of growth. As a young body retains more nitrogen than it excretes for synthesizing new protein tissue, this anabolic state where net protein synthesis exceeds protein degradation is crucial for building and repairing tissues and is also seen in pregnancy and recovery from severe stress. Yeah. Growth and development, growing, yeah. Anabolic state, nitrogen retention, tissue synthesis, pregnancy, recovery, illness, and all that kind of stuff, yada, yada. Get it? Influence of growth rate on nitrogen balance in adolescent sprint athletes. I've already known this because I deal with people that run in sprinting. I still have clients from my old channel. So I'm dealing with runners, professional runners. I still have discussions with them, a bunch of stuff, okay? So I always tell them, you need to be in positive nitrogen balance. A lot of them at the time didn't understand that. But they do now. You want to know why? Because of the outcome. That's why. Better outcomes. Get it, dude? So, yeah, you can read this. I don't know. They have it in PubMed. I don't need to read these things. I already know. Influence of growth rate on nitrogen balance in adolescent sprint athletes. Study aimed at the estimate nitrogen balance and protein requirements adolescent sprint athletes as a function of growth and rate and physical development. It's with positive outcomes. Okay, man? Who cares? I don't need to read this shit. I already know what this stuff is. It's associated with youth. Let's see what Tony has to say here. This is taking way too long now.
No one in human history, no one has beaten it. Now let's jump into the light blue zone from 80 to 100.
No one in history has beaten it, but in history they have beaten it. You just don't have the reports of who did beat it in the past. They did beat it.
The game completely changes. This is survival mode. In this phase, motor units are disappearing at an alarming rate. If you even make it to 90,
Motor units are disappearing in alarming rates. Not if you're in positive nitrogen balance, they're not.
you probably got only about 10% of your motor units left, and most people never make it
Yeah, because they're losing their muscle mass. They're suffering from sarcopenia. They're losing their mass and losing the motor units and a bunch of things. Okay, yada yada.
that far. And here's the shocking truth.
Yeah.
Studies show that most people in this zone don't actually die from one disease like cancer or organ failure. They die from frailty. Frailty is just science's polite word.
Listen to what he said. They die from frailty. What makes you frail? Negative nitrogen balance. Positive nitrogen balance is not associated with frailty. You understand me? Negative is.
For weakness. The body literally runs out of power. And what causes frailty? Well,
That's a lie. It doesn't run out of power. Your body has the capability of regenerating if you allow it to. It has the ability and capability to regenerate if you feed it what it's supposed to eat. If you feed it, give it what it needs, it will regenerate you. But if you abuse your body, then it will age the fuck out of you, mother.
one of the major reasons is motor unit loss. You can look perfectly healthy on paper.
No, it's not. One of the losses are you being in negative nitrogen balance. That's why. That's the loss.
Even have perfect biomarkers, but without motor units, your foundation is gone.
Yeah, but without positive nitrogen balance, those motor units are gonna go away. Get it? You understand me? Regardless of what you do. So you need to be in positive nitrogen balance, not negative. So there you go. So that's the most important.
You can't stand. You can't catch yourself. You can't breathe strong enough. The lights go out. Neuromuscular studies confirmed
The
it.
lights go out. If you're in negative nitrogen balance, the lights are going to go out very quickly. That's why vegans deteriorate quickly. And then you have the vegan compilation. They're no longer vegan anymore.
Once past 80, your muscles don't just lose size, they lose speed and responsiveness. Look at the study on the screen. Movements get smaller.
No, they don't. They don't. They only lose this, whatever he's talking about, 80-year-olds and 60, 70-year-olds. Bro, I'm pushing 60. I don't feel any of that. The only reason that is happening is because they're on slave food peasant diets, which are causing them to be dysfunctional and they're in negative nitrogen balance.
And your fatigability skyrockets. In plain terms, every effort drains you faster and you can't recover the same way. That's why falls.
What did it say about positive nitrogen balance? It says you recover. You can recover fast. Falls, if you fall down, it's because you're frail already. You're negative nitrogen balance. You're deteriorating faster than you can regenerate.
Weakness and collapse are so common during this age period.
Yeah, it's not common at that age period. It's common in slave food peasant diets. Get it? Not in people in the positive nitrogen balance.
And if that wasn't enough, the proteome study shows the last great biological wave hits right at 78 years old. Lines up perfectly with the loss
Whatever.
of neuromuscular connection that reduces muscle contraction speed and the frailty that follows in our 80s. This light blue zone also sets the stage for who will cross the 100-year mark. Researchers place centenarians.
Oh, it sets the stage for the 100-year mark. Well, they showed this lady recently. She's 117 years old. And then they show her, she looks like a mummy, bro. Get it? She's completely like frailed out, like a shell of herself. Get it, dude? She was never in positive nitrogen balance. She just allowed herself to deteriorate faster than she could regenerate. What do you expect? Oh, I know. Meat was too expensive for her to eat. Oh, She cooked it. She forgot to eat it raw. You understand me, man, what's going on here?
It's into three different groups. Number one, survivors, those who had disease early but kept going. Then you have the delayers. These are the centenarians that push disease off until later. And then finally you have the
Oh, yeah.
escapists, those who reached 100 with no major disease. But the one thing is, these labels don't matter much here, because whether you survive, delay, or escape, the motor units don't care. By 80 to 100,
Oh, they don't care if you escape and all that, whatever.
their collapse writes the real story of your body. Now let's get into the final shade, the gray. Ladies,
That's not what makes people die. They die when the last cell cannot replicate, according to science. When the last cell cannot replicate, you die. All right, let's see what it says in NCBI, or I mean, whatever overview. Because, man, I can't know everything, right? I have to cross-reference a lot of stuff. Okay. Anyways, the idea that the loss of the final replicative cell in the organ leads to death is not entirely accurate. Okay. Rather, there you go. See, I cannot be 100% right all the time because I'm not. I'm a human being. I don't know anything. Rather, the body dies when vital organs lose their ability to perform. Yeah, I would definitely think that would happen. Yes. Essential functions, which can happen if the cells die without replacement, or if the key tissues like the brain or heart cease to function due to irreversible cell loss. Okay, so how do you increase the cells? Again, when the satellite cell is activated, it will increase cells in the brain. You understand me, people? Your heart has the ability to also regenerate, believe it or not. Your organs can regenerate, but the catalyst for regeneration is muscle damage, muscle-induced damage. Get it? Exercise-induced muscle damage. That is the catalyst in your body that will prompt it to regenerate a lot faster, more efficiently, better, plus you being in positive nitrogen balance. So the body requires constant cell division and regeneration. Listen to what they say. This is very important. The body requires constant cell division and regeneration to replace old or damaged cells, and the failure of this process or the reversible loss of critical cells is what leads to organismal death, not necessarily the failure of a single cell type to replicate. Okay, so the cells here, the damaged cells, replacing old cells with new cells. So look, I'll prove it to you. All right. So when the satellite cells are activated by exercise-induced muscle damage, they proliferate and differentiate to become myoblasts, which then fuse to form new muscle fibers or repair existing ones, effectively replacing damaged or old cells. See what it says here? Damaged or old cells, like we just read there. Yeah? Are we on the same page or what? See? As part of the muscle regeneration process. This is the type of exercise we want to do. We want to induce regeneration. We don't want to exercise. A subset of these activated cells also undergo self-renewal, returning to a quiescent state to maintain what? The pool of stem cells for future regenerative demands. That's why we're expanding the satellite cell pool. Get it, dude? It's part of a regeneration process. If you spark it, it will regenerate bone, muscle, everything in your body, even your organs, because all kinds of mesenchymal cells, all kinds of things are coming out of, all kinds of progenitor cells are activated during this process. Autophagy is activated. There's a bunch of stuff, man. The T cells, they're cleaning up dead cells, creating new cells, a bunch of stuff. So it's based on regeneration. Regeneration. Through these steps, the damaged muscle tissue is repaired and the muscle structure and function are restored, a process that is crucial for muscle adaptation and growth. So you can do this again and again and again. Get it? So yeah, you can do it forever if you want. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we even get into the survivors, the escapers, and the layer centenarians,
Yeah.
let me clarify something. Fast Type 2X motor units are lost before anything else. We now know that many people have lost their Fast Type 2X muscle fibers by the age of 20. That is the catalyst. That's the trigger.
Yeah, but the only people that lose them, well, you don't really lose them. Your muscles shrink. They shrink, but you don't lose these fibers. They're shrinking, but that's because you're a negative nitrogen balance. You're catabolic, and that's why you're losing them. And then you lose the motor units.
This is the starting point of the entire decline. Now let's talk about the escapers, the delayers, and the survivors.
Okay.
What did they really escape, delay, and survive? Motor units don't care that you made it to 100. They're going to take you down anyway. This is the last hurrah. Look at the graph. By the time you reach
Oh, this is the last hurrah. Okay.
90, you're down to about 10% of your original motor units.
Okay.
After that, it's a free fall. Millions have made it to 100, and more records are being broken today. But as of 2016, only about 2,100 made it to 110, and only about 1,100.
Yeah, but all these people that made it to 117 years old, they were sedentary. They never did anything. They were completely retired, and they didn't do fuck all. They did absolutely zero work. They did nothing. They laid around sedentary all the way to 117 years old. This old woman, get it? And she just ate a very modest diet, no stress, whatever. Yeah. She deteriorated very slowly. She still ate meat products, whatever she was raised with. But you know, she was a negative night. Anyways, as I was saying, she was in most likely equilibrium, maybe. I don't know. Or she could be a negative nitrogen balance. Who the fuck knows, bro? But she definitely didn't do anything. She lived a very sedentary lifestyle. That's why she lived to 117. But she looked completely destroyed, okay? She looked like a mummy when she died.
100 made it to 110, and only about 1,100 made it to 111, and only about 6 reached 117, and 1 made it to 2022, allegedly. And here's what this means. Once your motor units are gone, you can't move.
Does that mean she died at 117 because motor units? She died because her parts failed, like it said there. She wasn't regenerating them. That's why she died. She died because her organs, she didn't regenerate. She never did any exercise that would regenerate her. She also wasn't in positive nitrogen balance either. So she was either in negative or equilibrium or some bullshit. And she's sedentary, bro. No stress. So she did very little. So she was really probably, I don't know, at best she was like equilibrium, I would say. So yeah, she made it 217, deteriorated like a mummy. Whatever, who cares?
You can't stand, you can't walk, and you can't even keep your balance.
Oh my God.
And your diaphragm, that's a muscle also. Without motor units
That's terrible.
to power it, you can't breathe. That's why people don't.
Without motor units, you can't breathe, broski. Get it? Well, if you're on the slave food diet, I wouldn't doubt you can't breathe. Being fat and stuff.
Just fall asleep and die peacefully. Their system collapses because movement itself, the core of life, is gone. And don't let anyone fool you.
The core of life, the movement is gone. Well, this lady, she didn't fucking move at all. Lived to 117, so I don't care.
Nothing in existence can stop this. No stem cells, no reprogramming, no miracle.
Then lions would be dead already, get it? Because they just eat and fucking lay around the entire day. That's all they do. They're so sedentary. They don't exercise. They don't do fuck all. A lot of animals, all they do is spend a lot of time eating all day. All they do is eat out in nature all day. And they lay around sleeping all day, sleep all day, eat all day. They never exercise. And the only time that they would have to exercise is if they're being pursued or they're pursuing an animal to eat it. Get it? That's about the only time you ever see an animal do exercise, because they run out of necessity because, well, one is being pursued and the other one is pursuing.
Chemical pills. Once your motor unit is gone, it's gone forever. You can slow the loss.
Once it's gone forever, guys. So you better hurry up and stay in negative and positive nitrogen balance, okay?
Maybe even delay it, but you cannot replace it. That's why millions of people make it to
You cannot replace it, broski. Are you worried? You can branch them, though. You can branch them, and you can use the existing ones. Don't worry. You're going to be fine.
100, but only about 2,100 in the history of the world have reached 110. Genetics didn't save them. Supplements didn't save them. Motor units are the wall. That's the real limit of human life.
No, it's not. Positive nitrogen balance is, he's absolutely wrong. Being in positive nitrogen balance is what will prevent you from deteriorating faster than you can regenerate. Also doing some periodic exercise-induced muscle damage to expand the satellite cell pool for these regenerative demands. Turning old stuff into new stuff, old cells into new cells, You know, wearing off myogenic decline and, senescent cells and a bunch of stuff doing this. So it all does them kind of both together, that and the exercise-induced muscle damage, which you only need to do very periodically at best, okay? Very periodically. It's something like maybe once a month even.
And remember, it all started way earlier. The very first cracks appeared in your 20s when you lost your pure type 2X motor units. Then at 60, the losses...
They lost it? These poor guys at their 20s, they already lost the type 2X. Oh, that's sad.
Accelerated, and at 75, the cliff hit.
Oh.
Half of your motor units gone. From there, it was all downhill. Let me close with this.
It was all downhill from there because you're on the slave food peasant diet. Okay.
What I just showed you are not opinions. They're facts that unfold in every single human life.
No, he's not. He's giving you facts of somebody on negative nitrogen balance. That's what would happen to them. But he never gave you the facts of the outcome of somebody on positive nitrogen balance, like I did. I had to use overview and some NCBI stuff because there's a lot of stuff on nitrogen balance. I just personally don't really care. Listen, I'm not interested. I already know what I need to do. I don't care what other people do out there. They should do what is best for them. Get it? I do what is best for me. I don't do what is best for other people. Like this fool, he wants me to jump around something about motor units is going to preserve. I'm going to activate motor units, but science already corroborates they're the same as an older person, whether they activated them or not. And so he's just wasting his energy and effort. He's aging himself, accelerated aging by activating motor units, and that's going to preserve them. No, they don't get preserved because you're using them. They're active, they're activated. That's not what happens. See what I mean? That's why he got pissed off when the scientific community came out with a report and showed that a sedentary person and an athlete have the exact same motor units. There you go, man. Get it, dude?
And the problem is, you don't notice it until it's too late. So if you're 45, 55, 58...
No, what I noticed was mitochondrial dysfunction. That's what I noticed. And that was a big thing. I didn't notice any motor unit dysfunction, but it was that mitochondrial. So once I cleaned that up, everything else got better. And then I've been in a positive nitrogen balance for the longest time, as long as I could keep it going. I don't know. I'll keep it going for as long as I want to or need to or I can. That's all. That's really basically it.
59, and you're bragging online about conquering aging, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You haven't even experienced it yet, or even the second proteome wave.
I'm your age practically. Believe me, I've experienced enough things. I've been there. I've put everything to the test. I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't hit the cliff. You haven't lost half of your motor units.
Oh, so I should be in negative nitrogen balance and then hit the cliff to find out what it's like. Well, I don't need to do that. See, I don't want to do that, you fool. So the whole point is to be in positive nitrogen balance, dumbass.
Haven't lived to the final proteome wave. You have no standing, zero. Because here's the truth. Once you cross into your 80s, the cliff shows its face. Almost no one
Oh, the cliff shows its face. You ain't in the 80s, bro. You're going all the way to hell, man. You're going on a slide all the way to hell, bro. Get it?
is on just one medication after 80. The studies prove it.
Medication doesn't exist in nature.
By the time you reach this age, it's normal to be on 5, 10, even 15 prescriptions at once.
Nature is what revealed the truth to me, what would make me live longer. That's how I was able to find the answers. I figured it out on my own. Get it? Because I'm into bodybuilding. Bodybuilding gives you all the answers. Real bodybuilding will give you all the answers. Does science tell you what will make you live longer and wear off deterioration and be younger and a bunch of stuff and extending your lifespan and looking young all the time, staying regenerative? Yeah. Science, bodybuilding, science, everything. It tells you everything. It tells you what builds muscles. Want to know what builds muscles? When protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. That's when you see that mass on that myofibrillar. That's when muscles grow. Yeah. See that? How simple was that? See how easy that was? Boom. You're anabolic. You are in an anabolic growth state. You are anabolic. Get it? Yeah.
That's what frailty looks like. That's what the cliff does to you. It doesn't matter if your biomarkers look perfect, your foundation is.
I understand this guy. He's on wasting drugs called TRT steroids, okay? TRT steroids, wasting drugs. So he's not completely wasting away because it's recycling these old proteins. That's what it's doing in the body. A lot of it is these people, they take these drugs and they're recycling old proteins. You understand me? That's not really a good thing. You wonder why they look so old on steroids. They look so old on these TRT steroid shit because they're recycling old proteins because they're lazy. They're still in negative nitrogen balance. So what do steroids do? They're wasting drugs. Get it? You're in a hospital bed. They cannot feed you, keep you in positive nitrogen balance. Impossible. You're on a drip and shit and all that. So the drug keeps recycling these old proteins. So when they break down, they recycle them and put them back on the top. And then they keep going through your system. And guess what you look like later? Like a mummy. You got an old face. You get an old face, old skin, old body. Get it? These fakey muscles, fakey everything, whatever.
On. Motor units don't care. Here's more proof. Look at the data.
Oh.
Before 75, some people still brag about being on medication free. But after 75, almost everyone is on prescription drugs. By 85, over 90% are. And nearly all of them juggle multiple drugs just to function.
Oh my God, they are they?
Let me emphasize that the ones that do not take medication is because they simply cannot afford it. So don't be fooled. This is the.
Oh, they don't take it because they simply can't afford it. Oh, okay. I guess they can't afford to eat meat either, yeah.
Cliff in real time, not theory, not genetics, but reality. That's what I'm fighting.
Genetics is a lot of it, 90% is environment.
That's the real war, not Botox, not hair dye, not miracle supplements, not lab tests. I'm fighting the one thing that no one has ever beaten. And I don't
He is, Tazzy. Oh, what is it?
know if I'll succeed, but I'm showing you what nobody else is willing to face.
And what's that?
Stop getting hypnotized by the hype. The real test comes after 75. And when you're still standing strong there, moving like a panther with no diseases, then you can talk. Until
Well, I'm strong, moving like a panther, and I don't have any diseases, and I look younger than you, man. If I stood up next to you right now, and like I'm talking about in person, never mind being video on YouTube. If you stood up next to me, they probably think that you were my dad.
then, this is the only fight that matters. Have a great day. See you soon in my next video.
Yeah, that's the only fight that matters. You want to know what that fight matters? Youth. That's the only thing that matters, youth. If you can stay youthful the whole time, you can wear off all this stuff. Simple. And what does that? Positive nitrogen balance. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.